Hey everybody, Dr. Laura Dabney here, talking with you this month about sexual intimacy. I brought back a very popular former video on this topic, and in that I talked about how to increase your sexual intimacy using our dating rituals and customs as a guide. So if you're interested in that, check that out. For these next three videos, I want to talk about how the unconscious way we self-sabotage relationships, including our sexual intimacy. A lot of us don't realize that we have this unconscious tendency, like to point fingers and blame our partner, blame everything else. We don't want to see how we sometimes play a role in this. So that's why that's most of what I do for my work, is to help you see these unconscious ways that you're contributing to a problem. So let's talk about the top three ways that we engage in self-sabotaging relationships. Okay. The number one reason for this video is, can you guess? Not talking about it. This happens all the time. I have a couple come in, I ask what's the problem, and one of them says, I have a problem with our sexual intimacy. And the other partner says, you do? So I had a long talk with this person about why they haven't mentioned anything about it. The why tends to come down to two problems. One is shame. What of you out there who think you shouldn't have a problem, that there's something wrong with you if you have a problem? These people often say things like, I'm the rock in relationships. I'm the one everybody comes to with problems. I can't have a problem. Of course, this is extremely unrealistic. You're a person, so you have problems. You're a person in a relationship with a person, so you're definitely going to have problems. And being able to talk about it is how we resolve them, as I talk about all the time, right? So the shame is completely unnecessary and displaced. Guilt is another reason why people won't say they have a problem in a relationship. A lot of you out there think somehow it's mean or cruel or terrible related to saying you have a problem. I have lots of patients who equate it literally to putting a gun to their partner's head and demanding something. This is, of course, again, very unrealistic. These people want their partners to figure it out and guess based on a bunch of, I don't know, innuendos. Of course, that doesn't work out at all. So I have to help them realize that it's actually, well, both these examples, I have to help the person realize that it's actually meaner or crueler to not state your problem, because while you think you can hide the negative emotions around this problem, you can't. It's certainly not for long. And then your partner has some sense something's wrong but doesn't know what it is. It's a form of mini torture. Okay, so being able to talk about the problem is extremely important to getting the problem resolved. The other version I see in this is, let's say the two people come in and they both think they have a problem with their sexual intimacy. Well, then my question to them is, what does your partner want in your sexual intimacy? I often get blank looks, zero answers to that typically. They look blank when they're able to tell me what they want in sexual intimacy, but they're not able to tell me what their partner wants. This reveals that they haven't had, maybe they had a conversation, but they didn't go deep enough. And if you know my template for this, you talk about your problem and then you ask what their version, what their view of this issue is. Do they have a problem with it? Do they not have a problem with it? What do they like about it? What they don't like about it? That's the empathy piece. That's what keeps you're saying you have a problem with something from being mean or selfish or self-centered, because you're going to ask what their view is. And that's how we then work together to get on the same page. Okay, so again, talking about the problem is the number one way to getting the problem resolved. All right, so we're going to come back to the next two videos talking about the next two ways that I see people self-sabotage their relationships and along with that, their sexual intimacy. Okay, I'll see you then.